You kick up the leaves and the magic is lost. They tell me your blue skies fade to gray. They tell me your passion's gone away. And I don't need no carrying on. 'Cause you had a bad day. You take your mind down. You sing a sad song just to turn it around. You say you don't know. You tell me don't lie. You work on a smile and you go for the ride. You had a bad day. You see what you like. And how does it feel for one more time? You had a bad day. Oh, you had a bad day.
Good afternoon, everybody. I hope that you guys are doing quite well. I'm back for a little more discussion about our friend Barry. All right, Kelly O, good to see you. Mark Klein, welcome. Seems like we were just here, right? Diane, good to see you. I'm glad you're here. I hope you are doing well. Sweet Melissa, you were number one. Sweet Melissa. All right, Kelly O, Tennessee. Good to see you, Tennessee volunteer girl. And Lisa Faulkner, welcome. So glad you're here. Yeah, I don't know if you guys were looking at comments under my last video that I did earlier. I had one of these people come in here and say, "Oh, how dare you do misinformation?" And I was then schooled that I was completely wrong about large carcass composting, which I thought was hilarious, but nevertheless. I was told that I was wrong. They proceeded to explain to me that the process of composting was all about the microbes. Heat has nothing to do with it. And so I left a little dissertation to school that person on who actually was spreading misinformation. So if you would like to go to the video that I did earlier and read my response on large animal composting and the role that heat that goes up to 150 degrees, it can even climb as high as 170, 180. But then you run the risk of spontaneous combustion where where the internal cavity that all of this chemical change is happening, that it will literally just explode, right? Turns into kind of like a bomb. Yeah, I do love these people that know it all, L Walker. And the truth is, I think I know who this person was, because if you follow their link, their channel address, if you follow it, it goes to Krama. It goes to the whole Krama thing. And interestingly enough, it's old Krama. It's Krama from Mommy Rambling's blog era. Right, Martian Planet? Yeah. So it's Mommy Rambling's channel. So she was the one that thought she would school me on working ranch farm life. It was sort of funny, but there you have it. So Diane, look at you coming in strong. Diane has been a member for 50 months. Is that a great friend, or is that a great friend? Thank you so much, Diane. You're a sweetheart. And I do hope that you're doing well. Yeah, Kelly, can you believe that? Like, legit, can you believe that that woman is still like skulking about my channel? Talk about obsessed and weird and bizarre. Yeah, it's so crazy. It was crazy. It was so crazy. I couldn't believe my eyes. I couldn't. All right. So anyway, she got a little primer on everything she ever wanted to know about the heat generated in composting and large animal carcass disposal through composting, how it actually works, why heat is one of the most important factors and how snow serves as an insulating um, insulating factor that really helps like dispose of even like bones and stuff. Go through a couple of seasons and you can't even find evidence of the original large animal, whether it's a bison or a bear or whatever. Um, so it's just crazy, Kelly O. Like I don't understand how people can get just stuck. How do you just get stuck and 5 years later you're still stuck? You talk about a cautionary tale. That woman is the biggest cautionary tale for avoid trauma at all cost. She went from getting like what 40,000 live viewers alive in one live. Now she can barely get in 200-300 viewers over a week, all because she had to fight it out with Natasha Cooper. She tried to fight it out with me, and I was just like, this, no, thank you. Don't include me in that nonsense. But she tried to fight it out with Natasha Cooper. They both lost their channels. They both lost everything. Yeah, it's crazy, Martian. It's crazy. I couldn't believe it. Tiger prayers. So good to see you. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so David Beller. Here we go. David Beller is the Morphew's new criminal defense attorney from Colorado. And I told you that he's a very interesting character. He's got a current case where he's trying to get this young guy who got into what amounted to a car accident with an 18-wheeler. Basically, it was a runaway truck on one of the inclines leaving Denver, going up into the Rockies, and 4 people were killed. And they ended up the way that they charged him. They threw the book at him, and he ended up getting like 120 years, which was just shockingly like overcharged. He had no involvement with the law at all. He was a good guy right up until this terrible nightmare of an accident happened. And so Barry Morphew's attorney, David Beller, that is a picture of him on the screen that you're looking at. He has taken on the case pro bono to try to get some relief for this young man, and has actually been able to influence the new district attorney so that the district attorney is on board with trying to get a more reasonable sentencing for this young man. So I thought that was a good thing when I saw it. Also, David Beller is he was elected one of Denver. So there's a professional magazine in Colorado called Denver Business Journal, right? And the Denver Business Journal actually voted David Beller. He's in the top 40 under 40 professionals in Colorado. He works for the larger law firm Wright Cornfield, and they have got a ton of partners and attorneys. Maybe just off the top of my head, maybe it was like, let's see, 20, 25 attorneys that work for them. I mean, it's big. Let's see, 2022, Mr. Beller was Law Dragon's 500 leading litigators. The U.S. Justice Department's chicken price fixing prosecution case. This was Beller's case, and he was able to get the case dropped. He was one of Law Week Colorado's 2022 Barrister's Best. And just last year in 2024, you're not going to like this, folks. He is the best criminal defense lawyer 2024, according to Barrister's Best. Barry got him another real attorney. So let's hope, though, that he's not like a clown like ISIS was. So let me share this. Oh, no, he is not bad. He's not a young attorney. Well, he's a young attorney, but he's a crackerjack. He's a bulldog. Um, and I don't think he's like this baffle them with bullshit kind of people. I think he's the real deal, which is kind of scary. Okay. So let's look at that here. I hope this is not boring to you guys. Is this boring? If it's boring, put a 1. If you're interested to kind of know who this guy is that's going to be defending Barry, put a 2. Will Barry kiss him after court? Hey, sweet Melissa, Barry, I think Barry French kissed ISIS. What do you guys think? Yeah, I think he did. I think ISIS was doing the dirty deed because she thought old Barry was going to have $15 million of the state's money. And then when Barry didn't have that money, ISIS, she had to bounce. Okay. She's like, Barry, it's been fun, dude, but you're too freaky for me. I got to go. And then now she's living off like somewhere in Connecticut with the geese, living her best life. Okay. They absolutely deep kissed at the truck. Yes. It was shocking. It was scandalous. All right, so there is the David Beller. I was very disappointed to see that Mr. Beller is actually a real attorney. And perhaps that is why Mr. Scott Reich is hesitant to say Barry's going down, because I would imagine Scott knows this dude. And he's like, oh, wait, look, Barry managed to finagle another great attorney. So David Beller specializes in criminal defense work, attorney and judicial discipline, and he does internal investigations. He represents individuals, he represents organizations that become targets, subjects, or witnesses in state and federal criminal investigations, all related to grand jury and pretrial proceedings. He's even done antitrust action work. David brings a depth of experience in managing crisis level regulatory and criminal matters, as well as advising clients on how to structure compliant programs so as to avoid problems. He has defended actions throughout Colorado and worked opposite both municipal and state prosecutors, Colorado Attorney General, Colorado Department of Regulatory Agencies, Department of Human and Health Services, Office of Attorney Regulation Council, Judicial Discipline Commission, University Disciplinary Boards, the SEC, the Department of Justice, and the United States Attorney Offices for the Districts of Colorado and the Eastern District of California. Are you impressed yet? His litigation skills have also been called on to assist in the representation and support of firm clients in complex civil and regulatory actions. Prior to joining Reich Cornfield, David was a Colorado State public defender. He is a Colorado native and attended school in Fort Collins, earning a Bachelor of Science in Public Health Biomedical Science in 1999. He is no dummy. And he got his Juris Doctorate in Ohio in 2004. In 2007, David joined Reich Cornfeld and made partner in 2011. David served as president of the Colorado Criminal Defense Bar, proudly serving 1,000 criminal defense lawyers, paralegals, and investigators. He is a frequent guest lecturer at the University of Denver College of Law and at Metropolitan State University. He is a faculty member of Colorado Alternate Defense Council and National Criminal Defense College, teaching trial skills to Colorado criminal defense lawyers. He serves by appointment of the Denver presiding judge as a commissioner of the Office of Municipal Public Defender and by the Colorado Supreme Court to serve on the Committee of Character and Fitness and on the Colorado Supreme Court Advisory Committee. Since starting his legal career, David has consistently been recognized as one of Denver's premier attorneys. In 2007, he was named by Law Week magazine as one of Denver's top 20 up-and-coming lawyers. He has been recognized as one of Denver's best criminal defense lawyers in Super Lawyers magazine every year since 2009 and has been named a Denver top lawyer by 5280 magazine annually since 2017. In March of 2015, the Denver Business Journal named David among the top 40 business leaders under the age of 40. And then here is the, he won the Barrister's Best 2024. Law Week Colorado asked readers to weigh in on the best attorneys in the state's most popular practice areas. This year, we received 256 responses to our annual Barrister's Best Community Survey. We profile People's Choice and Barrister's Choice selections in nearly 50 categories. It didn't switch over, did it? Hold on. Sorry about that. In 50 categories of legal practice in the state. Our boots on the ground look at the local market features all your top picks in dozens of categories, from the best Supreme Court justice to the best family law attorney. And they've got their best judge, Manioa Marquez. She's the first Latina to hold the title. Of the 13 LGBTQ plus state Supreme Court justices currently serving in the U.S., Marquez is the longest tenured. All right. And appeals judge, oh my goodness, I can't see it. Best state trial court judge, Robert Lung. Best arbitrator, Richard Ritole. Best mediator, and frickety frick. Best overall litigator, Carolyn Fairless, Wheeler Trigg O'Donnell, and the People's Choice was Chris Bryan. The best litigator is the same. Best litigator, Chris Griffiths. Best public sector, Nancy Rogers from Broomfield. Best government lawyer, Noah Patterson. Best lobbying firm, best family law, Kelly Ryder. Best private equity, Stan Doida, Keith Trammell. Well, where is he at? Bob Fenton is the best banking lawyer. I don't see his name. Mergers and acquisitions, healthcare lawyer. Best DUI lawyer, Nick James. If you party too hard in Denver, call Nick James. Oh, look, the best marijuana lawyer. Here he is. We found him right here. Best criminal defense lawyer. Kevin McGreevy was chosen by the barristers, but the People's Choice was David Beller from Reich Kornfeld. David Beller's specialty in criminal defense. He often works with clients who are involved with state or federal criminal investigations. He has previously served as a public defender and is a former president of the Colorado Criminal Defense Bar. He was named one of our up-and-coming lawyers in 2007, and since then has garnered industry recognition while stacking up courtroom wins. Well, that is not what we want to hear about old Barry. All right. So there you have it, folks. Let's see if I can find the hold on. Oh, here's a look at all their attorneys. Y'all want to look at all the this is an incredibly wealthy, what's the best tuna? Chicken of the sea. All right. Okay. So David Beller is sitting at the top of the food chain in the middle here. But look at the size of this law firm. I mean, these are some heavy hitters here. So they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 3, 8. So 19 attorneys. How many partners? They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13 of the 19 are all partners. Interesting, isn't it? So there's your boy, Barry, right there in the middle. That's him. I sure was disappointed to see this. I don't mind saying that. I was disappointed. Yep, Barry got himself a fancy lawyer. That is true. Let's see what Mark is thinking. He'll look for a nice plea deal. Mark, let's hope, right? What's this new evidence that Scott Reich is talking about? When did he start talking about new evidence, Martian Planet? The new evidence in the Barry Morphew case, the new evidence is Suzanne. Suzanne is the evidence. Yeah, I haven't watched that. I literally worked all day today. So I didn't have a break the whole day. So I haven't watched it. Yeah, Suzanne is the evidence, correct? Just like in the case of, this is my opinion, okay? Please don't come for me. I'm giving you my opinion. I'm not acting like I know everything. This is my thoughts. Just like in the case of John O'Keefe, Karen Reed. There was an awful lot of evidence that was presented, right? And while I found Dr. Makati Wolf very convincing with the science, for me, I think the thing that made me so certain that I would have voted not guilty on everything was Dr. La Posada. Dr. La Posada presented evidence that was John O'Keefe's body, that John O'Keefe himself testified in that trial. The damage to his body, the condition of his body, it did create the reasonable doubt. What do I mean by that? Well, if you die of hypothermia, your stomach lining creates ulcers. And he didn't have those. He had a few, which meant he was alive when they put him out there in the cold. Or not alive when they put him out there in the cold, but that his body was still warm when they put him out there. And then as it began to cool down, the ulcers began to form. But because he wasn't alive and his digestive system working, that full process of creating like a mass of ulcers, that did not happen. Dr. La Posada and every other coroner who lives in a state where there's ice and cold will tell you John O'Keefe did not die of hypothermia. Absolutely zero sign. He did not have the ulcers in his stomach lining. He did not have any frostbite, not even on his face, nose, cheeks. He did not die of hypothermia, period. So John O'Keefe testified in the trial by way of Dr. La Posada. And she described his body, she described the evidence, and he said, Karen didn't do this to me. She did not run over me with a car. And I think I feel the same way about Suzanne Morphew. I think she will bring the new evidence. And that is Barry and his dumbass, excuse my language, but Barry, he bragged about having the BAM. Who remembers him bragging to the FBI agent that he had the BAM? You know why he did that? Because he felt like a big shot. Because he knew that no other people could really get their hands on the stuff. And how amazing that ultimately that his full acknowledgement that he had BAM, the full acknowledgement that there was a vial of the BAM that was missing. How amazing is it that that will actually be the thing that sinks him? It's great. It's so great. So Suzanne's autopsy is going to bring the new evidence. And this time there will be no dropping charges. This time they have a really, really great case, great evidence, and they have multiple counties, the district attorneys from multiple counties, and a couple of state attorneys who are all working together to help each other, just like what we saw in all of the prosecutions of Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell. Right? So, yeah, take a good long look at Barry Morphew. He's not going to look like that when this thing goes trial. He will have no more of his steroids. We've already seen how quickly his body adapts when he's not taking his steroids anymore. His face gets very soft and he takes on the look of an old man, right? So it'll be the same process as what we already experienced before, but Barry's going to prison, knock on wood. Hey, Fractured Fairy Tales, it's so good to see you. I love that all of the Barry people are back in the chat. I've missed you guys so much. I remember Tyson, Bible says the wicked fall into their own trap. How poetic is that? I remember Tyson said he thinks that Barry hung her like a deer and field dressed her. This would go along with the bleaching bones process in multiple sites. Well, I'm not sure that I don't know that it would. Okay, how do I say this? I would disagree with the whole field dressing thing. And here, I've got a couple reasons for that. Number one, if you were to do that, you're spilling her blood. Like that's the first step, right? You've got to drain the body of blood. And so they just cut their throat, the deer's throat or the animal's throat, and then it pools underneath the body. So why would you want to do that if you're going to try to cover up the death? You would have blood everywhere and you would track it around with it on your shoes, and then the dogs would have found it. Because the dogs didn't get a hit on DNA or stress pheromones, that isn't likely that he spilled blood. I think it's more likely, in fact, I think it's expected that Barry had a composting pile set, for large carcass. We know that he had just killed a large elk. The rack and the freshly cut head was near the front door. And remember, Andy Mormon was he spoke on this. He was a little weirded out because he said, I think he was talking to Mike King and McDonough, but he said, why would you have that elk head freshly cut? Why would you have it near the home when you would attract predators by doing that? You would attract a mountain lion. You would attract bears. So why would Barry do that? Because he knows wildlife better than he knows people for certain. So why would he do that? Well, I mean, I think that was his normal. I think that was his normal behavior. I think he had a trophy elk. He cut the head off because he was going to get it mounted. The large carcass gets moved over to the composting pallet, and he puts the large elk in there. And then when Suzanne died, he put Suzanne in the composting pile, which would account for an awful lot of strangeness about the Saguache County Moffett burial site, that he moved her there. And then when he got ready to sell the log cabin and move to Arizona, he had to find someone, or he himself transported that. And that could have just been a dump truck. A dump truck could have backed up. They could have loaded up all of that soil, put it in the back end of the dump truck, driven south, 45 minutes, and then dumped it out right there. And that would explain why some of the bones were bleached. It would explain why her bones were interspersed with elk bones. And it would explain why there's no damn hair. They do say that they had the majority of her bones. And I'm a bit curious which bones were missing. Were the bones that were missing the fingers and the toes? Because if the bones that were missing were the fingers and the toes, they were likely already baked back into the soil. So that's how I think it kind of all went down. The last time we heard of ShowHo, I think that ShowHo got back together with the no, maybe I'm wrong. For some reason, I'm thinking that someone said that she was back together with the father of her daughter, maybe. But nonetheless, Barry took off, went to Arizona, and that pretty. They stayed together for a little while afterwards, but that pretty much done them in. That was pretty much it. She stayed in like Wyoming, Colorado kind of area. Not sure, but believe he was arrested at the same time. I just now put it together. I had not thought about it before. That head and rack is actually a trophy, if you catch my drift. Yeah, that elk head would have become quite symbolic, right? And in 2024, I believe that it was October. Let me double check myself on that. Um, where is it? Let me try. Hold on, I got another place I can look. I feel like I need some music. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, I was wrong. My memory was messed up. August 2024, not October. So I missed by a couple months. August of 2024, um, property records show that Barry Morphew and his mom, Shirley, they were the owners of a property that is in Noblesville, Indiana. And in August 2024, so just, you know, not even like less than a year ago, let me put it that way, less than a year ago, what they did is they basically did a quit claim deed, which would allow them to say, I want Mallory to own this property and she does not have to give me any money for it. So Shirley and Barry basically gave the Noblesville home to Mallory. There were two deeds. The first transferred the property from Barry and Shirley as grantors to Barry alone as the grantee. And then the second transferred it from Barry to Mallory. And so well, already did. So speculation, some people are speculating that Barry transferred the property to protect it from legal judgments. Other people, like myself, I believe it was done because he knew that a new indictment was coming. He knew that with the discovery of Suzanne's body, that they would be filing charges against him again. Although, can I say this? After seeing his new mugshot, I'm kind of skeptical about that. Because he does look incredibly angry. And if he was expecting that he would be arrested again, then what's he angry about? Like he would know it was coming, right? Now I'm kind of rethinking it and I'm thinking, well, maybe he transferred the large valuable property to Mallory because he was going to be leaving, because he's going to go across the border and get on an airplane in Mexico City and then maybe go to Vietnam or perhaps Dubai, someplace with no extradition, right? So I don't know. Maybe he was in the process of making his getaway and they caught him. That's why they acted. Maybe as long as he was sitting comfortably, nice and tight in his little camper, they were willing to leave him alone for now. And yet he loaded everything up and they could tell that he was getting ready to make a break for it. And that's why they went ahead and grabbed him. It will be very interesting to find out what happened. I'm giving you wild speculation. All right. So please understand this is simply me, my thoughts, my opinions. Also, if Shirley owned if they had just transferred the house just from Barry to Shirley, and Shirley became the actual de facto property owner, then what happens if Shirley has a stroke and she needs to go into assisted living, or she gets dementia and she has to go into memory care? Then what happens when the state comes in to claim her assets? Then they lose basically what amounts to the only house that they have left, right? So I just I really think that it was Barry in preparation. If you remember, so August, let me get my dates right on this. Okay, so I don't have mommy rambling coming in to correct me again. Um, let's see. Uh, bup, 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 bup. I'm thinking it's been a long day. I'm tired. My brain is tired. My body's tired. Okay. So here's another set of dates to consider in terms of being influential to Barry's frame of mind, his problem solving, making the decisions that he did. So Linda Stanley um, had, okay, how do I start this off? In June of 2024, a year ago, like legit, 1 year ago, in June of 2024, there was a 2-week hearing. This was a disciplinary hearing in which the Colorado Supreme Court overheard a case by the Colorado Disciplinary Hearing Board, where they tried her essentially for ethical violations that would include improper extrajudicial statements on the Mike King, Chris McDonough, Starsky and Hutch Power Hour. Okay. When Linda Stanley went on their show twice, not once, twice. So improper extrajudicial statements, inadequate supervision. She provided poor supervision of her junior attorneys, her office as a whole. There were countless discovery violations in the Barry Morphew case, but also in 3 other murder cases. Barry Morphew's case was not the only one that was mishandled. There were multiple that she and her office were just purely incompetent. And so all of those prosecutions fell through. It was really unbelievable when you heard the stories about them. And Linda Stanley also launched an investigation into Judge Drama Llama. Oh, yeah. For the Barry Morphew case, she was in belief that Barry and Ramsey, that they were friends in real life and that he was working to help Barry beat the trial rap. So it just got everybody all discombobulated at the state level, and everybody was pissed off at Linda Stanley, and they basically went for her. So up until June of 2024, Barry and Isis Eaton, I know her name is Iris, MRB. Don't come over here correcting me. Okay, it's a joke. It's a joke, Mommy Ramblin'. Learn to laugh at yourself, okay? When you laugh, the whole world laughs with you. When you cry alone, all right? So it's a joke. Iris Eaton, that I affectionately named her Isis. Isis Eaton and Barry had a case against the state of Colorado, Linda Stanley, for $15 million. And then Suzanne's body is found, and Linda Stanley goes before the Colorado Supreme Court Disciplinary Board. They had a 2-week hearing, and they received the decision was announced September the 10th. September the 10th. So I'm thinking that there was whispering in the hallways, the water cooler talk, and the lovely Isis got wind of, oh no, they've now disbarred her. She's gone. Suzanne's been found. Hey, Barry, man, I got to bounce, buddy. Been fun. You were awful in bed, but hey, you were going to be the $15 million man, Barry, and I was there for that. But I can't be here without the 15 million. So I got to go to Colorado, Connecticut. There's some geeses up there that need a mama to feed them breadcrumbs, and that's me. So goodbye. I'm going to take your money, take Suzanne's money, and I'm going to be gone away forever. So bye-bye. Bye-bye. I got to go. So is that what happened? Is that why Barry suddenly jumped up and began taking assets out of his name to preserve the value for his daughter? Notice I'm saying daughter, one, Mallory. Now, there is rumblings, and this I have no idea is real or not because it's gossip. The rumblings are that, and this is among, let's say, people, how should I say it? People that are still in that area, Indiana. The gossip is the scuttlebutt. The gossip is that the girls got cash from Suzanne Morphew had a life insurance policy. And so the girls got cash for that. They believe some of the town busybodies or church gossipers, they believe that the house wasn't simply given to Mallory, that there was an exchange that took place, basically, money laundering kind of thing, that Mallory would become the sole owner of a very expensive, beautiful property. And then she would turn around and give Barry a very large sum of cash from her life insurance, her mom's life insurance payoff. And then you think about that and you think, okay, well, that still is aligned with the speculation that perhaps Barry was making a run for it. Maybe he was trying to get across the border, head to Mexico City, get on an airplane in Mexico City, and make his way to Vietnam. Right? So there's that. How's that for a big old bunch of big bunch of speculation? Okay. So the information that I've given you, the dates and such on Linda Stanley, her lost ability to practice law, the hearing or little trial that she had, all of that is absolutely accurate. I gave you absolutely factual dates. The property records clearly show the progression of the property ownership from Barry and Shirley co-owners, Shirley signing it over to Barry. Barry then turns around and signs it over just to Mallory, not Mallory and Macy, which I was pretty heartbroken to see that. But I think we've got a lot of evidence that I haven't discussed on the channel. There's a lot of evidence to suggest that Macy is not a team player anymore. So I hope she's healthy and I hope she's getting it together. Feel really sad for her. Okay, so we have those. Remember, Suzanne's remains were found September 2023. We have Linda Stanley doing her little trial, and then they get the decision a year later, September 2024, and that is within a couple of weeks of Barry signing a quitclaim over to move the expensive property over to Mallory's ownership. She's a sole owner. So it does suggest that Barry was expecting that there would be a new indictment for first-degree murder. It did in fact come down, didn't it, on June 2025. Grand jury signed it on the 18th, I believe, and he was arrested on Friday the 20th. All right. There is a lot of people curious about why Macy was not included in the property transfer. But, Macy has the audacity to have a mind of her own. And that is the kind of thing that Barry Morphew just can't tolerate. Correct? All right. Okay, everybody. Nick says happiness always comes from within, and my bag of chicks that I always eat when I watch Jules. Aren't you a sweetheart? Thank you so much, Nick. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So, was there anything else that I was going to bring up tonight? I wanted to introduce Barry Morphew's new attorney. He is a hot shot, knows what he's doing. Yeah, there was some speculation that they might do that, Enoch. But that time kind of came and went. And I guess all in all, I was okay with that because I didn't want it to be real. I didn't want it to seem contrived or kitschy, kind of, like a Hollywoody kind of, I don't know, Perry Mason kind of thing. I want the authenticity. I want it to be real evidence and real investigators searching for real justice. The circus of Linda Stanley, it just cannot be repeated. It just cannot. We can't do that again, right? So I'm okay that it turned out like this, and I am not going to be surprised if what really happened was that Barry was making his move, and I wonder if that was what happened. Okay, why did he move the body if it was composting? Well, because he sold the property, Tiger Prayers. He sold the property to move to Arizona, right? And, I suspect Barry wanted to keep an eye on it. I think Barry doesn't like surprises. And remember, he put those trail cams up during the search, which I always thought was really interesting. But look, Barry's a tracker, okay? And when he's tracking animals, he understands evidence. He understands kind of moving from one breadcrumb to the next breadcrumb, right? So I do think that Barry going to the 5 trash bins, doing everything but waving and blowing kisses to the cameras, the security cameras, attracting attention by skulking about in parking lots, opening all 4 doors, yada yada. That was a ruse. That was him intentionally attracting the attention of investigators, saying, "Look, look, look, come look, this is where I disposed of her over here. Come look." Knowing all the while that she was right where he had planned to put her. And like I said earlier today, Barry has a composting pile. The investigators need to find it. And I'd be willing to bet it's not too far from the house. That is my guess. So, that's another possibility, Diane, because he never gave up. He's there every weekend, right? He's never given up. So, yeah, I think that number one, so I want to go back to that original thought about thinking that maybe Barry field dressed Suzanne. I think that would be completely against the intended goal, which would be for there to be no tracking. You don't want the dogs hitting on anything, right? So you're not going to want to bleed out. You're not going to do that. There was no fear, or the dogs would have picked up on the pheromones for that. There was none of that. So I think she was just darted. I think that medication is enough that would have stopped her heart. And I think you put her in the compost pile with the elk where the head was up by the door. I mean, there's really, have you heard a better explanation for the strange evidence in Sawatch? The composting pile would absolutely match what they found in Moffat or outside of Moffat. Barry would have thought law enforcement was watching him, so he probably had somebody else move the body. Right, Mark Klein? That's why I said if it's a dump truck, if somebody went out there, backed up, took what appeared to be a load of dirt, even if law enforcement is sitting right there watching, what are they going to think? Nothing. They're just going to think it's Barry, his people working on the landscape and stuff, right? Yeah, she would have, Nick. She'd have been knocked out immediately asleep, just like being put under for surgery. She wouldn't have even really known what hit her. If you've ever seen them dart like a black bear or something like that, it's seconds. It's just the dart goes in, and they kind of jump because they feel like a little sting, and then as they're kind of looking to see, oh, what was that, then they just slowly lay their heads down, and then they're gone, go to sleep. So if that's a bear or a moose, can you imagine 100-pound woman? Yeah, he had the head hanging. Yep. For some reason, I thought that it was near. I thought that head was near the door, the front of the house. You could be 100% right, Nick. I just don't have that detail. Beller is for representing guilty, Barry for free. Alessia, everybody's entitled to an attorney. I mean, that's our law. That's our standard. But I can say this too. I would rather see him have a real attorney, someone who's actually going to represent him adequately, so that when he's found guilty, nobody can come back and say, oh, it was all set up. It's not fair. They targeted him. Let's just do it. I mean, the evidence is great. The evidence is a hell of a lot more than what they had for a little guy named Charlie Adelson. I mean, the evidence is very powerful, in my opinion. It's only my opinion. Okay. So, and also, Alessia, you didn't hear this part, but this Beller guy, he is doing pro bono work right now for a young truck driver who was involved in a really bad accident with his 18-wheeler, and he ended up getting 120 years for what amounted to just simply an accident. There was no drug and alcohol. It was just the truck was too heavy. Going down the mountain, it accelerated, and he couldn't get it back under control. And so 4 people were killed. He got 120 years, which was way too much for a manslaughter charge. And so this dude Beller is in the process of trying to get him have the sentencing modified to something that is more in line with state law for a reckless endangerment or manslaughter case. So he's not really, a. I mean, he seems to be a good guy. I'm talking about Beller, not Barry Morphew is anything but a good guy. Okay, I'm not saying he's a good guy, but it seems like this guy Beller is a good guy. It seems like he, is a real ethical. He is allowing people to have their rightful representation. I remember you going there. I still can't believe he thought he would get away with killing her. I did go. I went to the preliminary hearing, was there 2 days. I met Vanessa from Unmasked. She's a sweetheart. I met the journalist and lots of people. Yeah, we had a good time. We had lots of fun. Barry Morphew seems very skilled. I can't help but wonder if he was actually more prolific than our wildest dreams. Oh, fractured fairy tales. Don't get me started. I think Mr. Morphew it would not bother him a bit to kill someone. I think he is completely detached. Attorney will have his hands full trying to make Barry Morphew look sympathetic. You know what, Tiger? I'm going to put that right up there on the. You are so right. How do you make this man look sympathetic? He shot his wife full of bear tranquilizer. How do you make a man like that look sympathetic? How? Yeah, I totally agree, Tiger. All right. He did think he was going to get away with it. And for a long time, I had the belief that it was an act of passion. I had a long time thinking he just freaked out, got mad, and done the dirty deed, and then it was all about the cover up, right? I believed that. And then I started watching Martin and AK going through the telematics, the locations, the dates, the phone calls. And then I just had like this epiphany. And I said, he knew he was going to do it before he ever left Indiana. Before he ever left Indiana, he knew what he was going to do. And then I felt sick. Oh, yeah, absolutely, Packer chick. He knew what he was going to do, and it was all to get his hands on that inheritance money, because everything else Barry had destroyed. He had destroyed his own company. He had destroyed his relationships with other business owners who would be clients to him. He had destroyed his relationships with family. He was a mess, you guys. And without Suzanne's money, he would be nothing. And in fact, he actually did end up in that kind of situation. I don't know how many of you guys know this. He has been living. Yeah, it's great to see you, Packer Chick. So glad you're here. Thank you. He ended up living in Cave Creek, Arizona, and where he was living. I'm not making this up, you guys. He was living in a old rundown trailer park. There were some campers, and then there were other places where you could rent like a little small old camper there, right? And he was living in one of the trailers, okay? There is rumor that he had actually purchased this rundown trailer park that is right behind a biker's bar. The biker's bar is called the Hideaway. And that he was there managing, or that he had purchased this trailer park, and that he was trying to like build it up and make it kind of like a tourist attraction, right? Like make the old trailers look nice and cute, paint them up, make them look spiffy, and kind of like a Route 66 kind of experience, right? Now that's one. Yeah, yes, Lisa Faulkner. I don't know how you know that, Lisa, but that's cool that you know that. So the rumor that cannot be verified, because we can't. There's no property records to reflect that he owns this place, but people seem to believe that he does. People in the area seem to believe that he's the owner, or maybe he's just a manager there and they're misunderstanding that he's not actually the owner. He's just sort of the groundskeeper. Anyway, so that is another area that people are really investigating and trying to come up with some kind of an answer. Maybe that's what he did with the money. Maybe he got the money from Mallory and he turned around and he bought this business that he thought that he could make it. He thought he could make it successful. Maybe that's what he did. I don't know. near the Horny Toad restaurant. You were there in the 80s, Tiger? Wow, that is cool. Yeah. I think the Horny Toad is it like a little bit, I think it's like a mile down the road, but the hideaway is right, it's literally right there. He could leave his trailer, walk right around the little fence area and be right there at his favorite bar stool. And we do have some video where he's there messing around, and somebody there took a video of him. Um, we know that Macy came and visited it there about 6 weeks. I'm sorry, 6 months ago. Yeah, so that's kind of, I don't know. I mean, look, Diane, if I found that out, I would be just like, yeah, totally makes sense. I wouldn't be a bit surprised. So, let's see what else. I think that's really all that I have. I mean, I had a ton of information and videos that I'm going to do, but I'm trying to streamline a little bit more so that they're not so long and arduous. Let's see. This is Stardust RV Park, Cave Creek, Arizona. Let's see if I can get a little something for you to look at. Hmm. I need just star. I thought there might be a I thought there might be a like a video of it, but I don't see a video. See, this is the other thing. If Barry did buy that place, it just shows you that he's a terrible business person, because there's so many RV places there in Cave Creek. It's a like a tourist destination, supposed to be like the prettiest town, prettiest area in Arizona. Um, and he buys one that nobody's even made a video video of. I know. Let me show you my some other stuff though. Um, all right, so this will be good to show. All right, stop the screen, present. Please, everybody, will you hit the thumbs up and subscribe? I'm not saying buy a membership, just hit the subscribe button and then hit all notifications. It doesn't cost you anything at all. And then a thumbs up, and that will be, I will be forever in your debt. Okay, so there is an example of the grand potential of the Stardust Trailer Park. Okay, it's kind of cute, isn't it? All right, so that's two of the campers. Here's the inside of one of the little old timey campers. Here's another one. So they're really playing up the route, like the Route 66 kind of vibe. See what I mean? Get your kicks on Route 66. All right, so there's that. Oh, sage. That sounds so gross. Sorry, my dog's got something in her throat. All right, so there you go. It doesn't look that nice now, y'all. It doesn't look nearly that nice. All right, there's their Christmas decorations. There's another old trailer. So you kind of getting the vibe, right? You're kind of getting the feel for this place, what they're trying to achieve. Now, I'm going to be honest. They have failed so far. Um, it's a great idea, but so far, the grandest majority, it's just rundown RVs. It's not cute, well painted, cute, decorated. That's cute. I am loving that 1960s. Um, yeah, that's awesome. That's the Apollo era. You can actually rent this camper. I saw it in B&B. All right. Let's see, what's this one? Cute. I can dig that one. Oh, this is cute. Do y'all like that one? That one's kind of cute, right? Mm. Now I got to go back free spirit and show all of it again. I'm so sorry. I thought I had it up there. I apologize. I'll go back and show it all. I'm all on one page, so it's okay. All right. So those are really like the two that you kind of get the overall vision of what they're hoping for. Like they want the whole RV park to be like this, like a Route 66 1950s soda shop, that kind of look, right? And that gives you a concept so you can be like, yeah, I can feel this vibe. I'm good with that. And here's the inside of one of those campers. That's really cute. Very cute. It's got the little cowboy, like the 1930s cowboy stuff. I'm telling y'all, I would be happy to stay here. I think it's kind of cute. But the reality, now this looks very clean. It does not look like that now. Like it doesn't look anything like this picture. It looks rough. Okay. It's like the concrete's all busted up and stuff like that. Here's another one. This is kind of the vibe of what they're going for. They want all of the rental spaces to look like this. But right now, it's just like rundown, rackety campers, except for these that I'm showing you. That's the office. There's an Airstream. What did the statement say, Amber? Hey, blissful elixir. It's better to acquit a million people that are guilty than convict one that is innocent. 100% Trent. Thank you for saying that. I had so many people hating on me because I had that feeling with the prosecution of Charlie Adelson. More than likely, he's probably guilty. He probably did it. However, with the evidence that was presented, my conscience would not have been able to allow me to vote guilty. Like I know now with Donna and Wendy, I'm good. I think they totally did it, but I had a hard time accepting any. Like there was just not much that was presented against Charlie. So, yeah, the idea of being innocent and you lose your life and go to prison the rest of your life, that scares me to death. It's one of the reasons why it was so terrifying about Karen Reed. That was another one of those cases where you're like, dude, the evidence is not showing what you're saying. Came from Alabama with the banjo on my knee. Oh, Susanna, don't you cry for me. All right, so let's keep on looking at the old Stardust trailer park. I'm going to Louisiana, my true love for to see. That's kind of cute. See, I'm loving that. That is super cute. That's 1960s, 60s, like space age, um, go-go dancer. Is that cute? See the long neck cat on the bath mat? That is super cute. I'm loving that so much. Pink flamingos. I I'm feeling the vibe. They just got a long way to go. And that's cute. Yeah. Oh, look here. Stardust Trailer Park is not owned by Barry Morphew. He was a tenant here prior to criminal allegations against him. What you talking about, Lewis? That is a bald-faced lie. What are you talking about? Due to erroneous information by the media, it was reported he was the owner here. No, the media did not report that. Please do your due diligence before trashing a business that has nothing to do with Barry. The owner of this park is Tartan LLC and can be viewed online at the Maricopa County Assessor's Office. Please remove this review. So somebody was given bad. Man, people are crazy. Don't tear up someone's business, y'all. Oh wow. I can't believe that. But that is also not true. Barry did not live there until after he had already been arrested and then released. The charges dropped. That's when he moved to Arizona and moved in at the Stardust. I don't know why it put us right there. Oh, this one. Okay. It's right here. You got to go back over here, or you can go down this alley here, and then the campground is back behind this. This the hideaway. That is the biker bar that Barry loves. Right there. See it? There's the campground. Back there. Now I ask you, does that favor the pictures that we were just looking at? No, it doesn't, does it? Okay. Barry Morphew obtained and filled several prescriptions for BAM while living in Indiana shortly before the Morphews moved to Colorado in 2018. All right. You buy one of those and we will throw in a brand new George Foreman grill. Woo! I would totally buy one for a George Foreman grill. Well, okay, so it's technically directly behind the biker bar. Okay, so you walk when you leave the campground, you're going to go past the hideaway. Um, there is a gas station that's just down the road from, not even down the road, on the other side of the driveway from the biker bar. But what you're looking at right there, I mean, isn't it kind of eerie that there's a dumpster there, considering the 5 dumpster pattern? Um, anyway, there's another dumpster. this is the campground back here. And I kind of think this is Barry's truck, actually. He went from owning black trucks after he got out of jail, he got white ones. I don't know if he thought that would stop people from noticing him. I don't know, but he did buy white ones. So there is the hideaway right there. And then there's the Indian village, but you can go straight back there. Yeah, that's Barry's new stomping grounds. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Or do we call this karma? And then there is a road to get to the campground right back over here. Right there. Another dumpster. And then you go into the campground like that. There you have it, folks. Barry Morphew, living the highlight. There's the horny toad. Now, the horny toad, I believe, again, this is my guess, I think that he and Macy were eating at the horny toad when we got the video from the lady that was inside. I think that's where they had met up to eat, was the horny toad. Right there. All right. So that's everything you ever wanted to know about Barry's life in Arizona. I can't believe his daughter's standing by him. Oh, well, are you really surprised that Mallory's standing by him? I'm not surprised by that a bit. But Maisie, I would not believe that Macy is standing by him until you see it with your own two eyes. I don't think so. All right. Let's see. So, has everybody hit the subscribe button and done the whole thumbs up and all that stuff? Okay, I've got something else I'm going to do right here. Let's see. I'm going to play you my new Barry Morphew song. But I'm not going to show the music video because I'm still working on that. But you'll be able to hear it. You'll be able to hear it, but I'm not showing the video part. Okay, you'll just be able to listen to it. And this is going to be my exit tonight. So I hope that you guys enjoyed, well, maybe not enjoyed. I hope you appreciated learning about Barry Morphew's new criminal defense attorney. He is the real deal, and that is a good thing. That makes it possible so that when Barry Morphew is convicted, there can be no question about the legitimacy of the conviction. This is what we want. We want him to have a true attorney, a qualified attorney, and then the evidence from Suzanne is going to be so powerful that when he gets sent to prison for the rest of his life, there'll be no question about it being legitimate. All right. So thanks. I hope you subscribe. I hope you hit the thumbs up. And I'm going to play my new Barry Morphew song. Y'all have a good evening. Bye-bye. It takes a second for it to start because I've got pictures that pop up at the beginning before the music starts. So just hang tight. Hang tight. Thank y'all.
Barry Morphew. With villains before him, real desert outlaws hide. The ghost of Suzanne whispers to him all through the night. Suzanne would get her justice, things would be made right. For King Barry in his camper cage, no escape from justice light. From a mansion to an airstream, his empire now shattered dream.
So you guys can't hear that because it's coming through on my speakers. Vicky Carpenter said she's not able to hear it. Oh, Nana, you are able to hear it? If you can hear the music, put a 1. Well, I didn't change anything. I don't know why. That is so weird. It just started? Oh, maybe because I don't really understand why it's not playing. That is pretty strange. But I can try something else here. How do I do it? Let me see. How do I do this? I'll play. I did a song about let's see where it's at. Okay, I did a song about Scott Reich. Hold on. Let's see if this one will play, if you can hear this one. I'm a little perplexed why you wouldn't be able to hear that. Okay, because I go here and then I do share screen. And then I do go to the window. And there's the media player. Share. Okay, I'm going to start playing the song now. If you can hear the song, I want you to put a 1. If you cannot hear the song, just like do a 0. Okay? But I'm really confused why you wouldn't hear that. It's got to be something. Okay, look. Okay, I am starting the song now.
Out in Denver, where the mountains touch the sky, Scott Rice is the lawyer with a fire in his eye. He's a courtroom king, never loses a fight. Got the jury in his pocket, makes the truth shine bright. With a suit pressed sharp and a grin that don't fade. He's the criminal attorney who's never been played. From the gavel first crack to the final decree, Scott's the man who set the guilty free. Oh, Scott Rice flying high in the game, winning every case, putting losers to shame. With his YouTube channel, he's breaking the mold, and his Bulldogs on CBD, living life bold. Got a Cessna humming, cuts the clouds like a knife, flying solo through the storms of his high roller life. From the courthouse steps to the cockpit's glow, Scott's the pilot of justice wherever he goes. On his YouTube stream, he's dropping the facts, breaking down the law with a rock and roll knack. Millions tune in, hanging on every word. His voice like a riff that you know you've heard. Scott Rice flying high in the game, winning every case, putting losers to shame. With his YouTube channel, he's breaking the mold, and his Bulldogs on CBD, living life bold. His English Bulldogs chillin', got that CBD vibe, snoozing in the office while the cases come alive. Scott's got the swagger, he's the talk of the town. When he's in the courtroom, they don't. From the Rockies to the coast, his legend spread wide. The lawyer with the plane and the truth on his side. He's a renegade spirit with a heart of pure steel. Scott Rice, the man with the ultimate deal. So raise up your glass to the king of the fight. He's soaring through the day, owning the night. With his dog by his side and the skies up above, Scott's living the dream that the free world loves. Oh, Scott Rice flying high in the game, winning every case, putting losers to shame. With his YouTube channel, he's breaking the mold, and his Bulldogs on CBD, living life bold. Scott Rice, yeah, he's the legal ace, flying his plane, winning every case. From the courtroom to the clouds, he's the one to beat. Scott Rice rocking life with a front row seat.
What do y'all think about that? Is that one fun? I think that one's fun. All right. I got to figure out why y'all couldn't hear the Camtasia. So the other one about Barry Morphew, that one is playing through Camtasia. So I don't know if maybe somehow it's being blocked or something. I'm going to have to play with it and see. But I'll have the video, like the music video will be finished tomorrow, and I'll just upload it as a regular video that you can click on. So, all right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the tunes, the true crime tunes. And I'll be back another day, right? We'll leave this. We'll leave this listening to our normal. Here we go.
Yeah. And I burnt that channel. Sinister grifters with a snake oil grin. Voracious virtue signalers cashing in. False PIs, they're fixing the game. Pointing fingers, but they're all the same. Innocent creators, moms with a cause. Digging through the chaos, exposing the flaws. We're hunting for clues, untwisting the lies. Who's driving this shit show straight to demise? Convertibles roaring, cliffs in sight. Like Thelma and Louise on a forever ride. They sail into YouTube fame, the crash is in sight. We're all on the ride, no breaks, no trust. Popularity is the spark that'll burn their channels in the dust. It'll burn their channels in the dust. Dust. That'll burn their channels in the dust. Spark that'll burn their channels in the dust. Dust. It's in the dust. That'll burn their channels. It's in the dust. That'll burn their channels. What's in the dust? The dust. The dust. We're all on the ride, no brakes, no trust. Popularity is the spark that'll burn their channels in the dust. Dust.